Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for the Doctor Strange movie. So of course with my movie reviews, usually I do a non-spoiler portion and then a spoiler portion. So I will warn you guys when we get to spoilers. So let's start talking about the movie. The movie's about this guy named Doctor Strange, Stephen Strange. He's an actual doctor, and he's pretty arrogant, and things happen where his life becomes different. So he wants to become, or at least leads into the life of learning to get these abilities. And that's the big part of the movie. I don't want to spoil the rest, but he meets some people, and of course we get a big battle in the end. So what did I think about the overall movie of Doctor Strange? I kind of agree with what a lot of people are saying. I was trying to avoid thoughts, but I did get a couple of people who told me their thoughts, and I agree that I feel this movie visually was amazing. It was very Inception-like, and it fit this reality-bending type movie. So that I loved, and the fights looked really good because of it. The villains looked cool. Makeup, costuming, visuals were great. But this movie's also really formulaic. So if you've seen a Marvel movie before, it's nothing too, surprising happens in this movie, which is a little bit of a disappointment. Kind of wanted a little bit more Easter eggs, even though we did get a Sherlock Holmes Easter egg, which I enjoyed. I also, just a little disclaimer, I guess, I'm not a huge Doctor Strange fan, so going into this movie, I wanted to become a Doctor Strange fan walking out of it. That's kind of what the movie should do, and even though I liked Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, and I enjoyed his acting, I don't know if I became a Doctor Strange fan after watching the movie, and I do think his character is a little bit too much like Tony Stark in a lot of ways, except with magic. So I wanted him to be a little different of a character, but he had a lot of similarities to Tony Stark in the movie. So without going into spoilers, there are some formulaic stuff in it, but the visuals definitely make up for the movie, and overall I think you're gonna have a fun time. Is it a completely memorable Marvel movie? I don't know. It's definitely not in, my top 5 Marvel movies, but it wasn't bad. It was a fun ride for me, and it'll be interesting to see the character in other movies. I don't know if I need another Doctor Strange movie, but we'll talk about in spoilers if they lead into giving us another Doctor Strange movie. So overall, like I said, I'm going to give this movie 3.5 stars, and that's my non-spoiler review for Doctor Strange. Now, moving on to spoilers, that way we can kind of get into the negatives and positives a little bit more without obviously spoiling the movie. So, positives of this movie, really like the idea of time and space. It makes sense for a character that's so scientific and focuses on the body. He's a surgeon and knows so much about the body to learn about the spiritual elements of the world. And I like that it was years of a journey to see that, but it doesn't feel like years in the movie. So they do a good job at kind of squeezing all his learnings in the movie without saying, wow, he learned that pretty quickly. So I like that idea. I thought that was a good aspect of the movie. What else did I really enjoy? I like the Ancient One. I know I understand the controversy of the character and the casting of the character, but overall I liked her character. I thought she had some meat to her. She actually did have a story, even though I wanted to know more. I liked her portrayal, and I liked her story. I also thought the character they're building up to be a villain, he had some good meat in the story too. I won't say that I'm like, oh my god, yes, he's becoming a villain, but he wasn't a bad character, and Wong was a kind of cool comedic relief type character. In a way, he was a comedic relief, even though the point of his character was that he didn't laugh at things, but he was a cool character. The character I was most disappointed with, which I expected to kind of be disappointed with, was Rachel McAdams' character, Christine Palmer, because she is the token love interest of Marvel movies. And this goes into what I'm saying, that this movie is very formulaic. It follows the Marvel pattern, where I feel like Marvel's been so good at upping itself. But some of these solo movies kind of stick to a formula. So with Rachel McAdams' character, she's 100% used as a plot device. Not that I'm expecting her to have her own superhero story, but I just kind of wanted more from her. And even the way the movie ends, I didn't like that they kiss and say, oh, I gotta go, and they kind of leave the story. They don't really follow up on it. I thought she would be, at least in the epilogue, seeing like how she's in Doctor Strange's life, but the reason she's just a plot device is because she's the grounding part of the movie. Now, did they utilize this character well as a plot device? Yes, I think they did, because the movie did feel grounded because of her. It was the attachment of him still being a doctor and having to make the decision, do I want to be this sorcerer or do I want to be this doctor? And being a doctor, actually, for his, I guess, soul, in a way, was the worst thing to do. So he becomes a sorcerer, and he's able to sacrifice himself and be less narcissistic. So I liked it as a plot device, but at the same time, she was just a plot device, and there wasn't a lot of female characters in this movie, so it's a shame that she was the plot device, but I guess she was a likable love interest, but I kind of just wanted more with her and kind of change up this Marvel formula. I kind of could forgive it if Marvel doesn't do this in every movie, but Marvel does this in every movie, so that's why I'm kind of starting to get a little annoyed by the love interest plot device. I think the only time they didn't really do it was when Pepper Potts grew as a character, which is a shame that we don't really get to see Pepper Potts anymore in the Marvel movies, because I actually think she's one of the strongest and most developed Marvel cinematic characters in the movies, not, of course, the TV shows, because they're a bit more developed, because we spend more time with them. Another thing I actually liked about this movie was disability consciousness, because we see Doctor Strange, the point of him becoming the sorcerer is to heal his hands. And I like in the end that even though he had all this power, it doesn't mean he heals his hands and it all magically disappears. I like that they kept the disability, and I thought that was an interesting plot line, because not a lot of movies, especially superhero movies and I guess supernatural movies, tend to do that. So I thought that was different, and I liked, again, disability consciousness in this movie. So, anything else I want to talk about? The villains, I feel, weren't bad. Definitely not the worst Marvel villains, but at the same time, I wanted them to be a little bit more fleshed out. They were definitely just there for the fight, especially the main villain, who kind of looked like Thanos in some ways, even though obviously he's not, just kind of like, I am the big entity, you must fight me. Villain could have been a lot better. I actually thought the Ancient One was a better villain, even though she wasn't, than the actual villain. So that's where I go into formulaic Marvel movie. But like I said, overall, I had fun. There's really good acting in this movie, very good action also, and maybe we'll see Doctor Strange grow as a character, and hopefully his franchise grow as other movies come out. So that is my thoughts on Doctor Strange. Let me know in the comments below what you thought. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter, and don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.